Hello, everyone. Have you ever wondered how a successful man, someone who seems to have everything, could willingly give up his car just to give his mother peace of mind? And what if there is someone quietly seeing all of it, but never saying a word? Is that silence? Or is that another form of love? Today, I want to tell you the story of Jack, of Mother Loi, and of LyTuTien, the woman who stayed by his side and understood everything. Stay with me until the end of the story to understand what a son's love truly looks like and what it means to be the woman who silently stands behind him. Morning comes early in the small town. Soft sunlight slips across the rooftops. Mist still lingers on the trees, and the air feels strangely peaceful. Inside the small house, Mother Loi is sitting on the front porch. She holds a warm cup of tea and looks out at the familiar road. There are already streaks of silver in her hair, but her eyes are still warm, still gentle. In the kitchen, Tu Tien is making breakfast. The soft sound of dishes touching is so light, as if she does not want to disturb the peace of the morning. Then the door opens. Jack walks outside. His white shirt is neat and clean. His face looks calm, but a little tired. He walks over slowly, gently. "Mom, you're up early again?" Mother Loi smiles. "I'm getting old. I do not sleep much anymore." Jack sits down beside her. He does not say much. He just sits there, like it is something he has always done. From the kitchen, Tu Tien quietly looks out. Her eyes rest on Jack, just a little longer than usual. Some things you do not need words to understand. Just one look is enough. Very few people knew that. Just a few weeks earlier, Jack had sold his car. It was a car he had once treasured. A car tied to the earliest days of his career. No one understood why, but there was one person who started noticing the change. It was Tu Tien. That night, Jack sat alone in his room. On the table were papers, numbers, old family debts from many years ago. He stared at them for a very long time. The yellow light fell across his face, making every thought visible. "I cannot let Mom worry anymore," he whispered. Outside the door, Tu Tien stood still. She did not walk in. She did not say anything. She only stood there and heard everything. Her heart tightened. The next morning, the car was gone. No one asked about it, but Tu Tien already understood. From then on, people started seeing Jack riding a motorbike, an old one. Nothing flashy, nothing luxurious. One afternoon, Jack stopped in front of the gate. Tu Tien had already been standing there. She looked at the motorbike, then looked at him. "You changed vehicles?" Jack smiled softly. "Yeah, I just want to keep things simple." She did not ask anything more. She only nodded, then turned and walked back inside. But from that day on, she paid closer attention. Every afternoon, when Jack came home, she was the one who opened the door. She gently took the small bag from his hand. "Let me carry that for you." Just a simple sentence, but full of care. Some evenings, Jack sat and repaired the old fan. On some days, he changed the light bulbs himself. At other times, he quietly checked everything around the house. Mother Loi saw all of it, and Tu Tien did too. But unlike Mother Loi, Tu Tien did not only watch. She began to change too. She became more careful with money. She stopped buying things they did not really need. She quietly cooked simple meals, but meals that felt warm and full of love. Sometimes, she would place a glass of warm water in front of Jack. "Drink this." She did not ask questions. She did not say anything else. But her eyes had become much gentler than before. One evening, a light rain fell outside the porch. Inside the house, The smell of freshly cooked rice filled the air. The three of them sat around the table. Jack placed another dish on the table. Mom, eat while it's hot. I bought fresh fish today. Tu Tien sat beside him. Quietly, she added more vegetables to Mother Loi's bowl. Please have some more. Mother Loi looked at both of them. Her eyes softened. You two make me feel like this house is always warm. Jack said nothing. He only smiled softly. Tu Tien did not say anything either, but she looked at Jack for a very long time, as if she wanted to remember everything he was doing. One day, Mother Loi accidentally overheard a conversation. Jack was standing outside in the yard. His phone was in his hand. Yes, I already paid the remaining amount. You do not need to worry anymore. Just take care of the rest. His voice was low, firm. She stood behind him, silent. But this time, she was not the only one. Farther away, Tu Tien was standing there too. She lowered her head. Everything was suddenly clear. The car, the daily rides, the small gifts he kept bringing home, all of it was for Mother Loi. Tu Tien turned away first, not wanting anyone to see. Tears slipped quietly down her face, not because she was sad, but because she realized she had fallen in love with a man who lived so deeply for his family. The next morning, everything seemed normal. Jack still went to work. He still rode the motorbike. Tu Tien stood at the doorway. Be careful on the road. Jack nodded. Okay. Then he left. She stood there watching him for a long time. Then she turned and went back inside. She began a new day, as if nothing had happened. But in her heart, she had already made a decision. She would stay by his side, no matter what happened. That evening, mother and son sat outside on the porch. Tu Tien was in the kitchen, but she could still hear them. Jack. Yes, Mom. Do you regret it? Jack smiled faintly. No, Mom. I actually feel lighter now. Tu Tien froze. She turned away, but her eyes had already turned red. Some people never speak their love out loud, but somehow they make others feel it anyway. Night fell. The lights in the house were still on. Mother Loi stood in the kitchen. Tu Tien stood beside her, helping her. No one said much, just small actions, repeated day after day. Then Jack walked in. Mom, you're still awake? Tu Tien turned and looked at him. She was waiting for you. It was a very gentle sentence, but her eyes were full of pride. In that moment, no one said anything else, but all three of them understood. Family is not built from grand things. It is built from quiet sacrifices, kept hidden but always seen. Do you see? A son's love does not always need words. But the beautiful thing is, there is always someone standing beside him, understanding everything. For Jack, that person is his mother, and it is also Tu Tien. One receives his love, the other quietly protects it. And what about you? How long has it been since you told your family that you love them? Sometimes, just one small act is enough to warm an entire life.